Hello and welcome back to the Ninqueso Exploring Japan channel, where I am on a journey to discover everything I can about Japan, about the people, the culture, the theme parks, the cat cafes. Yeah, I know about those. But yeah, if you were here last time, we took a look at a video that went over like the Shinto Shrines. It was quite a long video, so we are back with the part 2 of that today. And if you haven't checked out part 1, if I remember, don't quote me on this, I will leave a little link up in the corner up over there somewhere. But last time we learned about the creation story of the Shinto religion, the kami, the purification process and things like that. And today we're going to start off with learning a bit more, which is kind of what I was actually looking at when I first looked at this video, a bit more about the actual shrines themselves, because I've seen many shrines in different videos I've watched of people walking around in Japan, and I'm curious to know about them, just what they're there for. Now, I have a better understanding than what I did, but let us jump into this so we can hopefully get an even better understanding.
The most recognizable aspect of Shinto is the shrines.
Yes.
There are over 100,000
There's a lot of
shrines
them.
in Japan
That is a lot.
today.
100,000 is a lot.
From the Grand Shrine at Ise, where the Sun Kami Amaterasu Omikami is worshipped as the ancestor of the imperial family.
Is that
to
like
the
the big
humble
one?
Mikami Jinja in Kyoto, the only shrine for the worship of Kami-kami, the kami of hair. At this
I think I need to go there, don't I?
shrine, you'll hear the prayers of those wishing to be cured from baldness. This hair kami was actually a man once called Masayuki Fujiwara, who was apparently such a spectacular hairdresser that he became the kami.
Is that how hairdressers used to do their job? If they were short, they used to stand on really high stools. That doesn't seem safe in any way. Not for the hairdresser, not for the person having their hair cut.
Kami of hair after his death. A shrine can be any
See?
place where Kami lives and interacts with humans.
Told you it weren't
So
safe.
shrines can be architectural masterpieces like the Grand Shrine at Ise, or simple roadside shrines, forest shrines, or household shrines. Kami aren't bound to just one shrine and can be enshrined in a number of different places. At
Okay.
the heart of a Shinto shrine is the Go Shintai, an object that a kami lives in but is not the kami itself. It's typically a ritual object like
So just, I take it if the kami lives there, it's not there all the time. It can go out, do its chores, do its errands, come back, go to other shrines. I could be wrong. Let me know down in the comments if I'm wrong, if I'm way off the mark on that one.
mirrors, swords, and jewels. Although one Go Shintai at a shrine in Yokohama is an industrial robot. They can also be trees, rocks, or even a mountain, like Mount Mi.
That was very interesting. That is very interesting. The big rope tied around to that almost doesn't look real. Is that real or is that photoshopped? Because that's crazy.
A mountain, like Mount Miwa, which is the Go Shintai for the rain kami Onononushi. Shinto shrines are taken care of by Shinto priests known
Why have
as
they got
kanushi,
that going
and the
extra
shrines
fast?
are typically surrounded by forests, parks, or mountains, which today provide large green spaces in modern Japanese cities.
Yeah, I think that's why I've seen so many videos of people doing walkthroughs of shrines, because obviously they are very picturesque and nice places to be.
The most important building inside of a shrine is the Honden, or main hall, which contains the Go Shintai and is closed to the public. In front of the Honden is the Haiden, or hall of worship, where the public can worship and participate in rituals.
Okay.
A shrine also generally has torii gates, marking
Yes.
the entrance between the sacred area of the shrine and the secular.
Now again, I could be wrong, but I have heard you're meant to, if you walk through on the right hand side of a torii gate, you need to lead with your right foot, and if you go on the left hand side, you need to lead with your left foot, and you should never walk through the middle of them. Am I wrong on that one?
Outside world. You bow before a torii gate before entering to show respect to the kami. The most famous torii are the numerous torii gates at the Fushime Inari
That's a lot of
the
torii
main
gates.
shrine of the rice kami Inari. Now, you only have to bow at the first torii gate, because otherwise you would just never get to the shrine.
It would take a while.
Shrine may be missing any of these features though. For example, Omiwa Jinja at Mount Miwa has no honden, since the mountain itself is the Goshintai.
And yeah, obviously it's going to be very hard to build a building around a mountain.
This is the most ancient form of shrine.
That's really nice there. I could go to that beach, take a look around the shrine, go on the beach, stand there for 5 minutes, go, right, I'm done with the beach now. Oh, is that fenced off, that bit, so you can't explore around the bottom of the cliffs? Looks that way, doesn't it?
Built to worship the natural world itself. At a shrine, you may see a rock or tree, or even the shrine itself, surrounded by a ritual rope called the Shimenawa. The Shimenawa encircles sacred space, keeps it pure, and wards off evil spirits.
That is another huge rope. That is crazy.
A Shimenawa is worn by...
Is that why you've got the rope around... Oh, around the sumo. I was thinking of the rope on the floor to mark the boundary of the sumo ring. But no, it's actually... I'll let him explain.
Sumo wrestlers of the highest rank, as they are considered to be a
Yokozuna,
a vessel capable of housing a kami and becoming a Goshintai. Shinto shrines are all accepting, and so anyone can visit. When visiting a shrine, you first walk through a torii gate, you then proceed to the Kyosubachi to do the Temizu purification of the hands and mouth. To worship the kami, you throw a coin, usually a 5 yen coin, into the offering box. Then you bow twice, then you clap twice, then you say a prayer, followed by another bow to thank the kami. After your prayer, you can purchase an amulet or a charm for good luck, or even an omikuji, a piece of paper that is kind of like a fortune lottery that contains good or bad fortunes concerning things.
I'm still not at a state of my Japanese reading to like have any idea whether I'd get a good fortune or bad fortune. I'd have to use like Google Lens.
Things like health, business, and marriage. You'll see leftover ones hanging from trees at shrines, as people will leave behind omikuji with bad predictions as a way to leave that fortune in the hands of the kami. Festivals. Shrines are also the center of matsuri, or festivals. At matsuri, you might see purifications, prayers, and food offerings called shinzen, and cheerful community activities like the makoshi, where the kami is literally carried around the community, sometimes even being carried into the ocean as an act of purification. You might also see contests like sumo, horse archery, and traditional performances like the kagura dance or no theater. One large matsuri is the Hatsumode, the first visit to a Shinto shrine or Buddhist shrine on Japanese New Year, typically between 1st and 3rd of January. It is estimated that up to 80% of Japanese people take part in this festival. Some people even travel to
it does look very busy
as New Year begins, or to view the sunrise.
See, that just looks amazing. I could stand there and watch the sunrise. Be like, yeah, it's nice.
From a mountaintop shrine. Festival goers enjoy the trip with family, friends.
Did you see that drone hovering around there? I thought it was a bird at first, but it was someone's drone.
They eat seasonal foods, drink sake, and return old amulets for ritual burning and buy new amulets for the new year. A much smaller but equally interesting festival is the Nakisumo, or Crying Sumo Festival, held in May, where 2 enormous sumo wrestlers rock tiny babies in their arms. The winner...
That baby is not happy. Not happy at all. It's like, get off me. I just want some milk. Leave me alone.
Being the one whose baby cries first. The baby...
That seems a bit harsh. Rock babies until they start crying. Okay.
Babies then receive blessings for good health and fortune. For most of its history, Japan has been an archipelago of belief, with heavy influence from across East Asia. One of the largest impacts of Chinese influence was the introduction of Buddhism to Japan around the 6th century CE.
Yes, I remember that from the History of Japan video that I watched, that Buddhism came in.
Buddhism and Shinto essentially fused together over the 1,000 years after Buddhism entered Japan, in a process called Shimbutsu Shugo. Shinto shrines and Buddhist temples were normally built alongside each other. Kami were taken up into the Buddhist worldview, and Buddhas were considered to be kami. This mixture of Japanese belief and general East Asian beliefs can be seen in this statement from the Edo period. It is each man's duty to believe in the kami, the Buddha, and the teachings of Confucius. For the majority of its history, Shinto was not an organized religion, but was instead the folk religion of Japan that was practiced with great diversity across the islands, alongside Buddhism and other beliefs. Starting in the 17th century, some thinkers began to want to go back to a hypothetical pure Japanese culture. They referred to this study of Japaneseness as kokugaku, or national studies. The kokugaku scholars wanted to try and remove all non-Japanese influence from Japanese culture.
So they wanted to remove all like the Buddha shrines and things like that then?
In the mid-19th century, the Emperor Meiji took control of Japan, and Meiji wanted to create a modern nation-state with all the fancy things Western nations were doing at the time, like nationalism and colonial empires. He liked the ideas of the Kokugaku scholars and wanted to create a...
That's why they wanted the islands that Germany had at the time, wasn't it? I think, if I remember rightly from the History of Japan video.
Culturally united and pure Japanese Japan. Shinto would become a nationalistic tool. Up until this period, Shinto wasn't really understood as a religion. The word Shinto kind of just meant Japanese religious practice that wasn't Buddhist. These nationalistic reforms banned all combinations of Buddhist temples and Shinto shrines. Meiji also created the Shrine Bureau, which nationalized the hundreds of thousands of community-managed shrines and brought them under the control of the state. Shinto practice was then directed towards the worship of the imperial family, who were seen as the divine descendants of the sun goddess Amaterasu, and the emperor was worshipped as a living kami. This state Shinto became the belief system in Japan during the first half of the 20th century and became a key...
Yeah, I know why it ended. They said that in the last video, that he renounced it after the defeat of World War II.
...key aspect of the nationalist and imperialist direction that Japan went in before and during the Second World War, and so remains controversial up until today. After the war, the emperor was forced to renounce his divine nature, that he was not a living kami, which he kind of did. It's complicated. Another part of this was to sever the connection between the state and the shrines. Shinto was formally separated from the state and from state funding, and now the non-governmental Association of Shinto Shrines oversees Shinto Shrines. That was very difficult to say. That was a lot of S's in a very short space of time. Today, over 80% of Japanese people participate in Shinto rituals.
That is just so busy there. It's like very busy. I don't like busy spaces.
But still, the majority say that they don't belong to any religion. The common saying within the religious landscape of Japan is Shinto weddings, Buddhist funerals. Even after Meiji's attempt to separate them, Buddhism and Shinto in Japan remain
just came back together
in
again.
Everyday life. Except in the case of priests, most Japanese people practice both Shinto and Buddhism. Shinto rituals tend to be centered around this world and life events, and finding ways to respectfully live with the kami and other human beings.
See, to me that makes more sense, like focusing things on this world, like something that we know, because we can see it and interact with it every day, rather than the off chance of something else afterwards.
People go to a Shinto shrine after the birth of a child, or at a wedding, or for success in studies and business. Over time, Buddhism has taken over the afterlife aspect of religion, and today funerals and memorials are generally Buddhist. Japanese people easily combine Shinto and Buddhism in their daily lives. Shinto is still a practice that offers a way for people to connect with the environment around them and perform respectful rituals towards nature, family, and their community. Shinto continues to pop up across Japanese culture, from respect for dead ancestors, to Pokemon, to Studio Ghibli films, and to the nation's...
Good old Pokemon. I know a lot of Pokemon are based on, like, Japanese folklore and things like that.
Unique relation.
I need to do a video on that, don't I? Because I do love Pokemon.
With nature. In Japan, Shinto continues to be more than a religion. It's a way of life, a part of the country and its people. There's just something gorgeous about the landscape of Japan that brings about a sense of wonder and awe. Something that really hit me when I was watching Hidden Japan over on Curiosity Stream. It has...
They've gone into an ad. I think that might be it then, if they're advertising Curiosity Stream. Let me look. Yeah, that was it. That was it. Let's find a nice little... Let's find a nice little background. There we go. That's a good background to leave it on. Okay, I feel that I now have a basic understanding of Shinto, the shrines, why there are so many shrines, and like the purpose they kind of serve in modern day life. That's quite interesting. It is interesting. Hopefully you found it interesting. And if you did enjoy the video, I know I said this on the last one, that was by Kokito. So head over to their channel. I will leave a link down in the description of their video. And I've already given it a like, as you can see. I mean, I can unlike it and then like it again, but that seems a bit pointless. Then give their video a like. But if you liked my video, please give my video a like, because, you know, apparently it helps out. And if you didn't like it, you can give it a dislike too. If you thought, this guy knows nothing, I don't like what he's on about, I'm just going to dislike it. But if you do have any like suggestions of videos or things that you want me to see react to do with Japan, please let me know down in the comments too, and I will take a look at them, because I'm still early on in this journey and it's hard to know exactly what videos are good to bring in information. But that is going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for making it through to the end. And if you did enjoy yourself, you know, and you want to see more of me watching other people's videos, seems such a cheap way of doing something on YouTube, go down and hit that subscribe button. But until next time, just be nice to people. Bye.